So there was a lot of questions and speculation as to what the next move was for AJ Styles. We saw on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, he stepped in and talked to Nick Aldis, the GM of Friday Nights, and really questioned about what was his next move. He realized that he didn't have that much time left as a full-time competitor. We saw him lose at the Backlash event to Cody Rhodes in the WWE Championship main event, and then also failed to advance in the King of the Ring tournament as he would lose to Randy Orton in the opening round. A lot of speculation, a lot of questions led to what was next. And with the ongoing partnership seemingly between TNA Wrestling and WWE, I myself and a lot of other fans contemplated about the possibility of a little cross promotion between AJ Styles and TNA. Now, knowing that the Slammiversary event is coming up fairly soon, a lot of people thought maybe we'll start seeing some interaction between TNA and AJ Styles. It is, in fact, the company that really AJ brought to prominence and vice versa. It's a marriage that is recognized throughout all of pro wrestling. When you think of TNA wrestling, you'd be really hard pressed to not have someone bring up AJ Styles as one of those forefathers that came up and helped establish that growing brand. But coming into Friday Night SmackDown, I think a lot of people either anticipated that AJ Styles would be taking some time away from Friday nights or would reemerge as one of the leading candidates in the WWE Championship scene. And what we saw was a fake out, very similar to the Mark Henry promo back in 2013 when John Cena was the WWE Champion, faking out a retirement. AJ Styles, prior to leaving the backstage area and entering the arena, encounters a lot of familiar faces. We saw him talk to Cody Rhodes and whisper something in his ear. And then prior to hitting into the curtain, he was encountered by Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, two members of the Bullet Club, the OC, as they're now called in the WWE. And it gave a lot of reminiscence of a retirement. And we thought we were going to have this nice speech and AJ may be announcing one final run and that, hey, I don't have that much time left in me, so I want to be able to go out on my terms. And it's all fine and dandy, but if you've seen pro wrestling long enough, as long as I have, you know that there was going to be a swerve. When Cody Rhodes was brought out during this promo, immediately I think a lot of fans got that feeling of that Mark Henry promo that I mentioned beforehand. And of course, you see the moment where Cody Rhodes is raising AJ Styles' hands and they're celebrating AJ and they're giving the crowd a moment to appreciate and to show that love and admiration for AJ Styles. I remember watching it and thinking, okay, this can't end like this. I highly doubt that they're going to end an episode of SmackDown on a high note like that. Especially given that they didn't play music. And I thought that was a big indicator. I mean, yeah, you can argue that they wanted to have the live audience's reaction be the focal point of the audio. But once we got closer and closer to the ending, realizing they didn't play AJ's theme, I thought that's very interesting. I didn't think that that's something you would usually do. And of course, what followed would be a vicious attack by AJ Styles on the WWE Champion, fulfilling the promise that he really set out from the get-go, and that was to be the champion, to be the face that runs the place. And I know they alluded to him passing the torch to Cody Rhodes, but I do not see this incarnation of AJ Styles being the one to pass the torch. You're going to have to take it away from AJ. And it was certainly a choice because heading into WrestleMania and Backlash, AJ was presented as a heel. He was a villain character. And now, after a week or two of contemplation and debating about where his place on the roster is, you're led to believe he's now suddenly a babyface. I do understand that it could be a natural progression as to, like, it's a legend, you know? He's an icon in pro wrestling now. So it's easy for us to kind of let our guard down and support an AJ Styles. But given the in-character work that he's been doing ever since joining the WWE, I would be more inclined to believe that rather than waiting for an opportunity at the WWE Championship, he's just going to go ahead and take it. And that's what he did. He would attack Cody Rhodes, hitting the Styles Clash off of one of the steel steps to close out the show. And I think it's the right move. I think, as we mentioned previously on this channel, the Logan Paul feud for Cody Rhodes was just for the Saudi crowd. It was the King and Queen of the Ring event. And typically in those Saudi Arabia shows, we have these kind of one-off appearances, these one-off feuds to really cater to a broader audience. And now that we're moving away and we're back to just regular television, building towards another PLE, we can resume the feud that was AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes. And they had a banger of a match at Backlash. I mean, you saw the crowd participation, you saw the match itself. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, two of the absolute greats to step foot in the ring today, and possibly of all time. As Cody Rhodes continues to build his legacy as a WWE champion, he's had a great match against AJ, had a great defense against Logan Paul, and you can't say enough great things about AJ Styles. So I, for one, am happy that they're going to be running this back. I think it's clear we're going to be getting this match at Clash at the Castle. And what we do forward will be interesting because, again, I think it's too early to see a title change and have Cody Rhodes drop the undisputed WWE Championship. But perhaps there's a way to end the match and prolong it past to Money in the Bank. If you're asking me as a booker and as a fan, I'm thinking this is it. I cannot see Cody Rhodes beating AJ Styles 3 times. I think he beat him at Backlash, he'll beat him at Clash at the Castle, and then we're going to move forward with another feud. I can't anticipate this going past anything further, especially given the build-up to Clash at the Castle. There's only 2 to 3 weeks left for the event itself. So rather than build up another feud and start from scratch like they did with Logan Paul, why not readdress and revisit something that's already established, and that's the AJ Styles feud? What I hope to see is a little bit more references to the Bullet Club. Now, I know obviously that's catering to an audience that's outside of the WWE, but it's there. And what WWE lately has been doing is openly acknowledging a wrestler's past, whether it's within the company or not. And it's well documented that AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes were a part of one of the most famous pro wrestling factions in the last 2 decades, and that was the Bullet Club. So hopefully, seeing them incorporate something like that, and obviously Luke Gallows and Anderson aren't any strangers to Cody Rhodes. You do have that connection of the Bullet Club, and I feel like knowing Cody and how he presents himself on TV, he does a lot of fan service, and I feel like we'll definitely see some sort of a signal, perhaps on WWE TV. We know to expect another promo from Cody Rhodes, probably next week, an impassioned promo as to why you attacked me, I looked up to you, he called him Big Bro, all the good stuff. And the match itself is already made in the sense of I'm there to see it. I'm there to see it. If you have AJ Styles and you have Cody Rhodes in a match together, take my money. But then you build upon that with story, with promos, with segments that allow us to garner some heat and really establish it as a real main event. But the only thing is, I don't think it's going to be the main event. I feel like a lot of people would agree that the main event probably will be Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre for that World Heavyweight Championship. I think it go either way. I think Cody Rhodes is the top babyface. He's obviously the face of the company. But being that it's in Glasgow, Scotland, how could you not have Drew main event? That's yet to be seen. Friday Night SmackDown, of course, another fun episode. But what did you guys think about the Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles segment? How do you feel about heading into Clash at the Castle? Are you pleased that this is the direction that they're going with AJ and Cody Rhodes? And if they do have a matchup, it hasn't been announced yet, but if they do have a matchup at Clash at the Castle, do you think Cody Rhodes emerges victorious? And if so, how? How do you think they plan on stretching out this story? Or do you think, like myself, we're going to stop at Clash at the Castle and call it at 2 matches? Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you guys for joining me on this short little video addressing Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, and we'll see you again in the next video.